Okay, I see. That I was able to get back in there, and that's a good thing. I'm coming back, and I'm starting on part two of "This Is What a Man Is." I did part one yesterday, and just hold on 1 minute before I get started. Um, Boy, this is kind of late, but I said that I was going to stay committed to this, you understand, and I was going to go, one show after the other. And that's what I intend to do. Last night was, pretty good. I got off to a good start. For those who don't know, and who were not here yesterday, I started off this series because I felt that, something, I've heard both men and women, on YouTube sit back and say what a man is and what a man isn't. And like some of the things that they've said, you did kind of conflicted with my own upbringing and my own understanding regarding what a man is. And like based on my upbringing, a man is a whole lot more than what I've heard on YouTube. Hold on, before I start this guy, I want to give a shout out to Tasha, my niece. She called me the other day to talk about the bum rush in the sand on the Capitol. And she said one thing that really really caught my attention, and I had to give thought to it. She was asking me about Trump and what I think about him, what have you. And she asked me about the people, and then she said, what Trump did, he actually exposed the face of white supremacy. He made them come from behind the scene, you understand, and we were allowed, an opportunity to see exactly who these people, you know, uh, were or who these people are, and that was an interesting point because those people, you understand, did expose themselves, and they did let the world know who they were and what they were, who they were and what they are. Now, some people, I think, in the Capitol, you dig, had no idea that it's going to become violent or, out of control like it did. But for the images and for the photographs that were taken, which Common Sense should have told them that like they got cameras all over the the Capitol building. They should have known that photographs was going to be taken. They should have known that hey, you were in the spotlight. Some of those people, an example is going to be made out of them, and like I get it. That's the way America is. As far as the full prosecution of everyone, don't even start that. Go up out of it. Go. Get up out of here. As far as them trying to prosecute everybody to the fullest, I don't think everyone to the fullest is going to be prosecuted because it's going to take a lot, because you got to prove intent, trespassing and all that. Yeah, they could tag them with that, but as far as say maliciously trying to hurt, a senator or whatever, they got to prove them senators or them politicians, they got to prove intent, and like that's going to be difficult. But there are some, you understand, who has that track record. They were, detected and they were observed, and they're the ones that's going to pay the price. Yesterday, while I was getting into what a man is, I had commented on an article that I came across in the news, and in that article, I read about four guys in North Carolina, understand, who were speeding, down the street, and the police stopped them, pulled them over, made them get out the car, and like after he did all that, they searched the car. When they opened the trunk, there was a body in it, and I said that was real, real tragic. Well, today, uh, I was reading the news again, and I'm quite sure everybody, be seeing these news articles. There were three black teenagers who apparently understand, was trying to rob, one of, the drug dealer friends, and ended up, you understand, the drug dealer and no, it was four guys, and one of the four, you understand, got killed, by the drug dealer. So this is something that happened, again. And this is now starting to happen back to back. The youth, you understand, are not respecting each other. They don't honor each other. They don't even acknowledge each other other than the fact that they are their competition, and they are prepared to take their life or lose their life in their ignorance. Because that drug dealer, he had came, to buy some weed, and there was no intentions on them buying any weed. They was going to rob him. It is real quiet in my house here in San something, a damn dog. He's standing up here, just staring at me. Instead of him going and laying down someplace. These animals can't become like little children. You always gotta fuss at them or what have you. Go lay down, man. Go. Lay down right there. Okay. Having said that, I'm gonna get into you understand another section of what a man is. I've already enumerated, you know, in my first part of what a man is, and I said that a man is righteous, he's holy, he's wise, he's thoughtful, he's full of knowledge, he's insightful, he's discerning, he's respectful, he's patient, he's reserved, he's analytical, he's humble, he's inspiring, he's peaceful, he's motivated, he's strong, he's a producer and he's a protector, he's a visionary, he's reflective, he's intelligent, and he's creative. I left off on the word creative, you dig, and like the number one thing about a man is that he has so many attributes available to him, and not only are they available, but they are gifts from God. You know, one thing that I could say about the black man, he is definitely a creative person, and he is able to create a lot of things that people, had no idea that he could create. And a lot about technological world, understand it isn't all dominated by white men, but also by black men. The black man has created a lot of things that we operate on right now in terms of the elevator, in terms of the stop signs and all that. People just don't know, and like they have no idea because it is not, you understand, the white system's way of broadcasting and acknowledging what black people do. They quietly steal their creative skills, you understand, and like they give all the credit to themselves, and they make themselves feel as if they were the ones who created what's being used and the service that it provides. But individually speaking, a black man is naturally creative because he has an interested intellect, and he has a design in his head regarding what he want to do, how he want to do it, and the way that he need to get it done. A man is creative because it's useful and it's something done, it's something that he can do uh, for the purposes of his family. A man must be creative when it comes, to his mate and his children. I always stick these two together, and I would like to keep it like that because everything that a man does, it is done in relation to his family first, rather than uh, the society at large. I've seen black men create a lot of things for their families to enjoy, and I've seen the things that he have created made his family happy. It don't necessarily have to be physical things, but it can be mental things. Things that are useful to his family. Things that his family needs from the father. You know, the unfortunate thing is that in the society, our creativity is largely ignored and it is not taken advantage of because with the white world, they want to shut, you understand, everything down in relation to uh, the black world. And we haven't, became aware of that to the fullest because we still continue to give to these people, you understand, and they give us nothing in return except their content and their animosity and their dislike. But I don't want to get into, all that other stuff because, like, something, this is what a man is about. And a man is a creative. And the quicker you understand a man realize that about themselves, the quicker they can make, gigantic steps to benefit them. And like what we need to do as men is recognize, when I say creative, you understand, look at what all these guys do, you understand. Men become creative in how they plot and scheme against each other. Men become creative, you understand, regarding how they want to manipulate a woman, you dig? And those are minor examples. Minor example. Minor example, excuse me. And we've got to realize that those attributes within us and take advantage of them. You know, we like to tinker and we like to sit back and take a different perspective. Um, but we, um, have got to learn who we are and what we are and go into our full strength. Okay, a man is honest. Honesty is important to a man because everything that he does in relation to his world, in relation to his family, in relation to the people that he deal with in society. Honesty is about character. Honesty is about principle. Honesty is about integrity. A lot of people uh, get honesty wrong. And what some, I hear a lot of stuff, talked about on YouTube, right, but not really in real life about honesty. And you know something? You have a lot of black men that are naturally honest. A lot of black men are not natural schemers or liars or what have you. So well, some are raised to understand to be that because of the influence, of a parent, you know, and it's a well-known fact that like a lot of young black kids are not being raised by fathers. When you're raised by a father, you learn the principles and the characteristics of honesty. Um, I go back and I look at my own upbringing and how my mother, tried to instill, that structure and the family members. And like basically I'm honest, but then as I encountered life, I began to do dishonest things because it was a little bit easier to be dishonest than to be honest, because that's what people related to. That's how they operated. That's how they function. But a man is honest, understand, and like he tries to be honest with his woman. He tries to be honest, to his kids, and like sometimes that is disrespected. Sometimes it's not respected because what you invite into your world and what is in your world, you understand, is what you're going to sit back and reflect. And there are a lot of circumstantial pressures that comes from what a man encounter and what he must deal with in terms of his own, personal honesty. And more often than not, a lot of people become dishonest because of the atmosphere that they're in or the environment that they operate in on a social basis. A lot of women, tend to say that men are not honest, but that is only their opinion. That is their opinion, you understand? Because a lot of women are not really honest, you know. A lot of men are natural liars, you understand? They learn how to become liars. And this element, this attribute in a man, it's natural that he is honest. It is only with his contact with outside influences that he learns how to be a liar. He learns how to um, be a stranger to his own principles. Excuse me, I had to take a meal, some water. Regardless of what women say, understand it. And there are multiple circumstances that people preview to sit back and try to establish, understand that a man is not honest, a man is this, a man is that. But there are mitigating factors, involved in that. For those who are quick to accuse, those who are quick to judge, they ignore the devil in the details. They sit back and they just try to make a man one thing, and a man is not that. But then it is better to be what people, well, some guys think it is better to be what people say that you are than to be what you are not. You know. But I've seen more honest men than I have seen honest women because some women like to tell that little white lie. You know, some like to take it and put it in the relationship, with the man, and like as a result, one lie, understand, has to cover another lie, and before you know it, things are really, really gets out of control. And look, I want to say this though, okay? I'm only giving you the initial impressions of a man because I'm quite sure that people can add on to these definitions that I'm giving, you understand, regarding certain things that I may miss, certain things, that I don't elaborate on enough. But it is to start the conversation, and it's uh, get things, generated where you can understand what your attribute is as a man and how you want to proceed in life. You don't have to deal with some of the things that you deal with. You can dismiss that and tell it to keep on going. I see I got a couple of people up there in the cloud, you understand, and just listen, you understand. Come on in. Come on in, you understand. Give me some feedback. Okay. A man is helpful. That too is a natural characteristics. You know something? Um, and I got to say this at large. Black people, whether it be a man or a woman, they're very helpful. That is something you understand that is natural to their personality. I have been helpful to a lot of people. At first, I used to be helpful, you understand, there were strings attached, but then I learned how to be helpful, you understand, where it was just something that came from God, you know, because God is very helpful. And He helps us, you understand, on a daily basis, one way or the other. It ain't all about what we can do, you understand, because we get it confused. Sometimes, when we go to help a person, you understand, we help ourselves to them. We manipulate them. We play them. We scheme on them. But that is not the natural order of a man. That is not the personality expression of a man in terms of being helpful. And the thing about it, when a man is helpful, when he's really able to help someone and he's not use them or trying to manipulate them or play them, it makes him feel good. And that is the wonderful part about being helpful, because you can really help a person put a smile on their face. And this is something that you teach your mate and your children and your neighbors. You be that example of being helpful and no strings attached. Really. And you know something? It's no puzzle that sometimes helpful people are sometimes played and manipulated, because we are all not the same. And you don't know what the next person was raised to understand and to be. You don't know who you're encountering on the next thing. But a man is helpful, and that cannot be dismissed. It cannot be ignored. That is an attribute that a man has. A man is a comforter. Now, you know something with this right here. A lot of women don't like to hear that, because see, they sit back and say that a man don't know how to be a comforter. They sit back and say that he don't know how to be gentle and exceptional in his way of doing things. But a man is a comforter in a sense, because he understands life. He understands that there's a time to be hard and a time to be gentle. He understands when he should not speak so many words, but let others speak. A man knows how to comfort his woman when she really needs comfort, if she lets him. A man knows how to comfort his children when they need comfort. There are multiple examples in the society of how a man is comforting. And I gave a shout out to my niece in the saying at the beginning of this video, and I'm going to give another shout out because she said something to me today too, which I was in firm agreement with it. She was talking about how a lot of women say that men, you understand, do not want to take care of their children. And what she said to me, it was quote unquote, she said women need to shut up because when she look around, all she see is young dudes taking care of their children, and the women are nowhere in sight. She said she see these young guys doing this. They're comforting their children, you understand, and raising their children, and the women, you understand, out there busy doing their thing. And I agree with her. Thus when I get on YouTube, and I hear, a lot of these women, I can't call them sisters because every black woman is not a sister. But when these women, you understand, sit back and say that black men don't take care of their children, that's a tired narrative, you understand, that's coming from the 80s and well, from the 90s and the 2000s. They started that, you understand, and they continue to come with that. And then they continue to come with the mindset that there are no good men out here, which is bullshit. But I don't get into all that right there because as a man, I know what I do as a man. I know who I am as a man, and I know what a man is. You understand? Because a man will embrace his children, and he will comfort them, and he will be a father to them. There's no way you can get around that. It's interesting that, like, a lot of times when people come into your chat room and while you're on a topic, they like to bring other things up that is really off topic. I mean, it appeared to be on topic, but really it's not on topic. And like as a result, they continue to want to get that input. They're the sidetrack and derail, you know? And like you just can't take one sentence you dig and that be, the whole topic. A topic is multifaceted, and like there are many things understand in a topic. And this right here, a man is a comforter. You better believe, understand, he knows exactly what he's doing and the way that he's doing it, and like he is definitely about his business. People can think what they want to think. They can pretend as they want to pretend. But the natural attributes of a man, you understand, is there. These guys who are still trying to figure out who they are and what they are and what they should be and what they shouldn't be and can't be, you gotta, you know, stand up and face yourself. You gotta face, you understand what you have and what you don't have and what you need to add to your life and what you need to recognize in your life. These things that I'm saying that a man is, they comes, to my thoughts, automatic. Anybody have to teach that, to me? We just covered the honest and helpful and being a comforter. A man is a builder. I've already said that a man is creative, you understand, but a man is a builder, you understand. He like to build things. One thing about his family, He liked to build his family, you understand, the way that he wanted. He want to operate, you know, in that zone you did, or in that lane where he can get things done. What he think in his mind, you understand, and what he allows, to manifest. He's a builder. Look at all the things in this society that man has built. And I'm saying mainly, black man. We got plumbers, we got electricians, we got construction workers, we got corporate, entities. All that comes from a man. That comes, you understand, from that natural attribute. You understand, the man is a builder. You understand, and he has to be a builder because God told, Adam, when Adam fell, the earth is against you now. It is not your, it is not your friend. It is not earth friendly. Everything that you get from the earth, you understand, you got to take it. You understand, with your energy and your effort and hard work, and you got to build. And look at what man has built. You know, across the nation. I mean, now if you ever did any traveling, you understand, you'll see that there are a lot of things you did which look alike in each city. You got your McDonald's, you got your Burger Kings, you got all these fast foods, and you got other structures. But those buildings, you understand, are across the country, and they were built by a man. Excuse me. That's why I don't understand these confused women who sit back and say, especially to a black man, "What have you built? What have you done?" You know, that's a deliberate, deliberately ignoring um, the real attributes of a man, and it's a way you dig of trying to mess with his self-esteem. And if guys are weak enough to let that, go down like that, that's on them. Because you don't have to answer to women; you have to answer to life. And I'm being only mild, about this right here. A man can repair the majority of things, in a home. That's because he has that attitude of analyzing things and figuring things out. Really. Then we come to the part in the stand of a man being a hard worker. I don't know whether you're hustling, whether you're scheming, whether you're doing things legitimately, or whatever. A man is automatically a hard worker. He's going to work in the sand real hard to make his life a pleasant environment. He's going to work in the sand to the point, and if you read the statistics, Kevin Simmons bring it up all the time about the the high powered guy, the man that is making all the money. But I'm just talking about the basic man. You understand? He is a hard worker. I have seen brothers, you understand, working in auto shops and doing construction and what have you, and their fingers, become so swollen they look like baseball gloves. Who do all of the dirty work, who work hard. once they reach the age of 21 and 22, and even before that, they sacrifice everything to make things right for their family. Sometimes it's appreciated, other times it's not. That's where we have them other life issues come in. But as far as a man being a hard worker, yes, he is. And sometimes the man dies before he is able to enjoy the fruits of his labor. He dies. And to ever give him acknowledgement, to ever sit back and say that he was a good man, he cared for his family, he cared for the world that he built, he never gets the credit. You know something? I will never get over this weird feeling that whenever I walk into a house in the stand, and I knew the man to be a hard worker, and everything that he worked for, you understand, is just sitting there. And now, of course, the woman has the benefit of it, and I guess that's what he worked hard for. But when I walk into the house, you understand, and I just look around, and I see all the things that he had did to bring comfort to his family, it's kind of, sad because he's not there to enjoy it. The only thing he was able to do was go out and work hard, come home, have a nice meal after taking a good long bath or a hot shower, being able to look at one or two TV shows before he fall off to sleep or to get him a piece of ass. Y- you know, uh, I'm cognizant of that fact that, a lot of these hard workers, they die young. They die in their 40s and in their 50s, and they're invisible. But a man is a hard worker. Just like he's honest, helpful, he's a comforter, he's a builder, he's a hard worker. A man is sincere, and like this is something that is largely ignored because a lot of people, they make fun of the attributes of a man. A lot of men start off life as being very sincere, very honest. Um, they like to display who and what they are. Being sincere is putting your word on it. We hear that a lot of times. I give you my word, you understand? The only thing I have is my word, and that's all that matters. It means that you're a real person. It means that you're not taking anything for granted or that you're trying to be something you're not. A lot of men understand when they approach a woman, they are not insincere. They're very sincere. until the game, starts, until, the lies start. And we know, you understand, that like people will play all kind of games with you and don't give, two fucks about the damage that they do. A lot of our youth is sincere, but a lot of adults have damaged the sincerity that our youth have. That's come our that's come our young men are raised up now being two-faced. That's come they don't have, those real qualities. Now you understand they can sit back and pretend that there's something that they're not. And they can mislead people and play people and manipulate people and get the fuck out. But a man is sincere. Which brings me to the next definition. A man is realistic. When we start off in life, you understand, we start off in life, being what we are and who we are. And we don't separate from that. Being realistic means you understand that, what you say you're going to do and the way that you're going to do it is the way it is going to be. With the weaker guys, you understand, they profess to be real, but when it comes time to be real, they fall off. And you know something, the thing of that is, a lot of people, and well, a lot of men, they lose sight of the fact that they can be real, and like they um, talk the talk of being real, but when it comes down to actually being real, they can't be that. And I think that something. One thing that I'm in total disagreement with, and I really do disagree with this, is the fact that a lot of young men, you understand, when they're raised by a mother, they take on her attributes and they navigate through society with their mother's attributes and think that that is the real attribute that a man is supposed to have. Hey, look, there are so many guys that I've talked with, you understand, who, when holding a conversation with them, I actually feel as if I'm talking to a woman because that's how they communicate. Even when they get in an argument, it's like looking at a guy, you understand, and he's arguing like a woman. We can do better because we got to recognize what we have inside of us, you dig, and how we go about doing it. And you know something, I hate to see one of these weak guys argue with this woman, you understand, because it is uncomfortable to me as a man to see a man argue with a woman, you understand, and then I get the impression that it's two women arguing. And a lot of our young men out there have these attributes. that they're arguing like women, mama boys. We keep on saying that, a lot of our youth, our youth is not raised up by fathers. You dig? My point though is, when you know that this is lacking and you know that this is missing, you got to step in. And I have stepped in, throughout my life, giving the guy some of these attributes that I have, telling him that this is what a man is. This is what he does. This is how he go about doing what he do. I've given it up freely, even though some guys, I check this out. I remember back in the day, had an after hour joint, and like we were the cream of the crop, in the city. And every now and then, you understand, I would get out on the dance floor and I would, do my little dance or what have you. I was into the music, you understand, and all that right there. I wasn't trying to dance to impress nobody. I was trying to dance, you understand, because, I was feeling good and the music, you said, was sounding good. But one night, I remember uh, I just kind of laid back, while in the midst of doing everything. And I was just watching, dudes on the dance floor. And then, I saw about 3 or 4 or 5 guys, you understand, dancing like I dance. It kind of blew me away because it made me realize they really didn't have nothing in their memory bank. They didn't have nothing in their blueprint. They could signal, you understand, that they was a man. Just like, yeah, hey, I've seen, you understand, guys get on the dance floor, you understand, and do their thing. And I admired, their dance style. But I never tried to imitate them, though, because that was them. That's what you call being realistic, you know? A man is serious. One of the most pressing problems that we have with this one word is that, like, a lot of men are over serious because they don't know how to be serious. And a lot of life has been lost as a result. A men who tried to be more than what they wasn't. They wanted to be serious, and they tried to act it out in every way. And look at what's happening, across our society with our youth, with our adult men, and what have you. They don't take themselves serious, you dig, but they try to pretend that they're serious. And it's just a matter of time. The man that pretends to be serious, it's just a matter of time, becomes obvious that this is the goofiest person in the world. I've seen it over and over again. When I was down, out there moving through society, you understand, the man that, professed to be serious, you know, there wasn't. Go sit down, man. Go. And like that's why the white man don't take us serious, because we're not serious, within ourselves. During the 70s, you understand, we've seen a lot of serious guys who were really ready to die for what they believed in and for who they were. But you know something though? When we look back in history, you dig, when we look back to the past, there's always water under the bridge. You know, those guys were there, you understand, but they're hardly remembered now. They hardly remember. They hardly are remembered now. Um, there are many ways that I can go with this serious thing, you dig, because like you know, now get your paws off me, man. You heavy-footed ass. Go and sit down. Go. Um, that's why the women, you understand, don't take guys serious because guys don't approach them in a serious manner. Women have learned how to articulate, their concerns, their needs, you dig, their attitudes, and all this right here. Guys, you dig, are just now coming back around, you understand, to articulate who they are and what they are, but they're only doing it half-ass. And as a result, we have this gender war, and that gender war is keeping us apart. I keep on coming back to the fact, you understand, that like everything around us is serious except us. You know, we like the fuckery on YouTube. We like sitting back, knocking at everybody. But as far as the real problems, as far as things that should seriously be addressed, we are not addressing them. We're letting others, dictate how we look at things and how we appear, to be with things. And if we take ourselves serious, we can get a whole lot more accomplished because man, you've got to take yourself serious and get your own program. Stop letting others make you a part of their program. That's the problem now. When you become a part of somebody else's program, they're going to do what they do to you. And that's just the truth. The next word, believe it or not, men are not gossip, but being raised, understand, in a female household where there is no masculine presence there, you have a lot of guys that like to gossip. Men like to talk amongst themselves, you dig, but like they like to talk about tangible things, real things that are significant to their life. They don't like the gossip like I see so many men do. When you see a lot of guys just sitting around talking, that's something that they inherited, from the mother, and like they think it's the most natural thing in the world to do. But you got to look closely, understand, at what's going on because, like, if those men, you understand, do not know how to recognize life, recognize, you dig, that they're being one who gossips and one who sits back and keep things going in the negative, way. Hey, I look at it and I see it on YouTube, you understand, all the time. And like the thing about it is that there's no stop to it, none whatsoever. And it's kind of sad because like we won't get the real things done. We'll always talk about the superficial stuff. And when we talk about superficial things, that is going to become the predominant thought in our head. That's the sad thing about that. Because I'm trying to wonder what other benefits are you trying to get from YouTube if you can't bring something real to the table? If you can't bring something real to the table, what do you intend to walk away with? And then I see some people are just straight out confused. Some have mental problems. Some have dispositions, you dig, where they've been doing things all their life, and like they they sit up, you understand, and they want you to relate to the world, but the world is really fucked up. But you can't see it because people hide things, you know. But they like to gossip though. They really like to gossip, and when you like to gossip, you understand, you have a loose tongue, and that is not a natural attribute to a man. A man do not like to gossip, you understand. He do not like to be part of the rumor mill and what have you. But it's natural though, with so many men who are still evolving. Sad part about it, those men that are still evolving have entered their 40s and their 50s, thinking that it's natural to do the things that they've been doing all their life, and to think that um, it's not being observed. It is so. It is. I mean, out of a lot of the things that I've seen on this earth and on YouTube, boy, some guys have it bad, and they don't have a man to sit around and tell them that they're on the wrong track. And then again, something. Sometimes they do have real guys around them, and the real guys try to tell them like, "Hey, look, you're on the wrong track," and they'll sit back and say, "Oh, he don't know what he's talking about. This will always work for me. Understand? I know what's important for me. I know what I need." Excuse me, man. That was some doggone water. But a man is not a gossip. All right. My next word, I'm gonna do about. I'm gonna do about four more, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna, close this out. Um, A man is organized. And the thing about it, that is important to understand for how he runs his family, how he relates to his neighbors, and what he does, in the social world. And I ain't talking about the controlling type of being organized. I'm talking about a man being organized in terms of how he thinks and the way that he thinks. He knows that when he first start off in a relationship, he's got to get a home for him and his mate. When he start having children, he knows what they will need. He knows what is demanded of him. He knows how to get things in order. When it comes to understand to his neighbors and his work out there, and what he does in society, he knows the demands that is being placed on him. And he has a planned approach to the things that he do. You see a lot of guys out there, you understand, that are scatterbrained. Some go out and work hard, you understand, but they don't know what to do with the hard-earned money that they made. A man that is organized know what to do. He knows that he's got to get himself a bank account. That the money that he make, he could put it in the bank and save it to address the needs of his family as his family grows. You got to get a new car. You got to get new furniture. You might need a larger house. An organized man already knows that, and he has enough of insight, enough of thoughtfulness, which is what I said yesterday in part one of what a man is. Hey, Monica, how you doing? I was just sitting here, understand, sharing with what a man is. All right, this is it's a three-part, but I'm looking at my definitions. I might have to go into a four-part, but I hear so much on YouTube about what a man is, and what they say a man is. I just don't agree. I don't agree. And like this is basically on me. How have you been doing, though, my sister? Oh, you must have stepped away then. Anyway, a man is organized, and he recognizes that he must have order in his home and his attitude. And when he steps outside his door, that is a part of being organized and embracing the natural attributes that God has gave a man. Okay, a man is author- authoritative, or he has authority. A man who has authority who recognizes what his authority is a man who has principles, who's in charge of his responsibilities, who is accountable for his character and his attitude. God has gifted every man to be authoritative, but some guys just don't get it. Some guys take that and run with it, and they become abusive, disrespectful, controlling. A real man is not. As I said yesterday in part one of this, a real man is thoughtful, reflective of what he does. He's patient. He's full of knowledge. And he passes this on to his mate and his children. He don't pedestalize himself and think that he's better than his family because his family has got to reflect him. His family has got to reflect his attitude and what he thinks in terms of how they appear in the social world. And people don't really get it though. You know something? A lot of times when a child is raised in a two-parent household and you have a good father, and that good father is a very realistic man, a very sincere man, the things that he think and say is going to be passed off to his son and daughter. And the things that he has said is going to be said by them to their social friends. The war between the genders, understand, has gotten to the point where there is no mutual respect. That's because a lot of people have forgotten about the concepts and the many things that makes up, being able to communicate, being able to be in an association, or to be even in a social conversation. A lot of the social conversations that I've seen, especially on YouTube, it always deteriorates to accusations. To women saying, "Oh, I'm not going back to what it used to be." Like I said, it is white folks' intentions to keep the black man and black woman apart. And like I said, it's all in economic. It's all economic, and you know, we could be the fool, but it costs us. It costs us. And when I look at this authority thing, I look at uh, the authority that God had over Adam and what He wanted Adam to do. Adam fell short, but being created in the image of, those attributes were still there. And this is exactly what I'm trying to sit back, and comment on now. there's a lot of pain in this world, you understand? A lot of men and women, you understand, that have really had some tragic childhoods. And I get that. But if you have done nothing, you understand, to deal with your pain, if you have done nothing to deal with the anguish and the trauma that you went through, well, then that means that you want to re-victimize yourself over and over again. And then some don't know how to deal with their pain. I remember I was looking at this a movie the other night. It's called Sinner. I don't know when it came out. Um, I missed a lot of movies, but it was about this brother, you understand, who became the pastor of this church. And like on the day that he became a pastor of his church, you understand, a woman who was out there prostituting herself came up in the church. She's a beautiful woman. And like this minister had went through his own trauma, but he was so impressed by this woman that after she left the church, he went looking for her, on the host road. He was finally able to locate her, and like this woman really had baggage, okay? Because what she told him, understand, is that like she was raped at the age of 6. She was she grew up in a adopted home, atmosphere. Her adopted mother raped her. The adopted father raped her. She grew up thinking, you understand, that what had been, forced on her, you understand, was, the norm. She grew up thinking that that was what sex was naturally about. And what she went through during her youth, she took it to adulthood and she was out there, prostituting. And this minister, he told her that, God forgives all. And he was really taken by her and he ended up marrying her. Of course, the church elders were against this and they gave him the blues, And like, she tried hard, at the beginning. And like she looked like she was making that recovery to, regaining herself. But like I said, if you don't deal with the trauma, if you don't deal with the pain, it's gonna creep back in. And we have authority over a lot of things that we go through. Don't think that we don't. We have a lot of authority, and we got to recognize that within ourselves. And it ain't, the man, or the woman. It's what God, has given us. Long story short, um, she went back to her old ways. Just then, she was strung out on heroin. She went back to prostituting. He went all over the city looking for her, and when he found her, uh, he asked her how could she do that to him. And I left out the fact, understand that he had a baby by her, and like he thought, understand that the baby was his, but he had the DNA checked, and it was her pimp's baby. But the pimp didn't want nothing to do with the baby. But he still raised the baby as if it was his own. And when she went back out there, you understand, actually he went all over the city looking for her, and he happened to just go down the alley, you understand, and he walked up on her giving a guy head. And he was really beat up, you understand. And he just said, "How could you forsake me? And how could you do this?" And he went back to the church, and he was, pleading this all out to God. And there was this one guy in the church, who said, "Hold on, dude. God put in your life for a reason." And he brought up about what the prophet Hosea had did when he had a woman, you understand, that was into that lifestyle and what have you. She took him through the ringer. And he said, you can't give up on her. You got to keep on loving her and give her unconditional love. That is your acceptance of Christ and God, to be there, just like God is always there for us. And like, he told him, go find your woman, you understand, and continue giving her the love that you gave her. And just as he was going out the church door, she was coming into the church, and he stood up to give her an embrace, you understand, and like as he was giving her a embrace, a car came speeding by. That was the father of the child. He thought, you understand, that she was going, bring him problems, and he went to kill her. But yet, the minister spit her, you understand, and he took the bullet instead, and he got killed. But the ending of this was that, like, she went into the church, you understand. She became a great force in the church. The baby, you understand, grew up, you understand, remembering what his father had done. He even went to prison, you understand, and seeing, his real father. And the real father was saying, "Oh, I'm so glad you came." And like, I appreciate it. He said, "No," he said, "I just want to let you know, I really didn't like the fact that you killed my father, but I forgive you." Authority. You got authority over things, you understand, that like, you can change the flow of what you go through and how you go through it. You could be that change in your life. Oh, man, we got so many motivators out here in this world. We got so many people saying so many different things. We got so many people that are bullheaded. We got so many people, you understand, that hey, take one little wise saying and say, "This is what my whole life is about," and they try to live their life accordingly. That's not authority, though. That's social dependency. That's human dependency, you understand, because you don't want to take the time to find something else that's larger and that's better. And like, I hope something. I hope don't nobody think that I'm trying to preach. I'm not preaching. I'm just trying to tell you what a man is. I'm trying to tell you what his attributes really are. I'm trying to sit back and share with you what I learned as a man, and I learned how to walk as a man. My next word is dependable. A man is dependable. One thing I've understood about life, we really need people in our life that we can depend on. When something happens in our life and in our world, we always need to lean on somebody. We need somebody, understand, to give us that helping hand. We need somebody that we can rely on. We need someone to come through when everything else has shut us down. And I mean, not someone that we manipulate, not someone that we try to sit back and scheme on, not someone that we take advantage of, but someone who is there when we're going through it, when ain't nobody that we can really talk to. And there have been, something, the thing about the fabric of being in a relationship is that women learn how to depend on their man. They learn that regardless of what they go through and how they go through it, He's going to be the one that's going to show when everything else don't show. I've been there. You know, when I fucked up and when I cleaned up and when I grew up, I showed up. But man, that feeling was good though. I'd always considered myself dependable, but there were times that I was actually lacking. But for a lot of the people that depended on me, I always came through. It was always a joy to see that happy face, you understand, when I know that I was actually helping a person and they depended on me. I go back to the word sincere. When I said that a man is sincere, see, when you're dependable, you're sincere in what you tell a person. That's because that word sincere is there. Because when a person know that you're going to respect your word and you tell them, understand that, hey, look, don't worry about that. I got it. I'm coming through. Watch out for me. No, no, you don't have to say no more. I'll be there. Man is dependable because God was dependable. Like I said, before Adam fell, you understand, Adam was able to look up into, the heavens and look up, and see God's throne. And like, he had that there because God was dependable. Matter of fact, there's a Torah, that says that after Adam and fell, you understand, and they were cast out the garden, Adam was afraid to approach the angels. And the angels asked Adam, he said, whoa, what is this? You are afraid to approach uh, me now. And there was one time that I was afraid to approach you because God had made you so well. He said, but look, you are afraid to approach me now. Because Adam wasn't sincere about God being dependable. Today, as we go through the trials of life, we live daily with things that we can depend on. Yes, some things we take for granted, but the real things we do not. But a man is dependable. All right. I tell you what, I'm gonna do one more. Let me see what time it is. Oh wow, I don't really got there. I'm gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna shut it down for the night. I will be back tomorrow. Uh, Probably not as late because I realize that people got things to do, and like they turn in at a certain time. But I gave my word last night to those who came last night that I would be back tonight, and I'm keeping my word. For all those who are hearing this, you know, I want you to pass it on, you understand? Because this is some real stuff. I'm not doing this for my ego. I'm doing this because I want to see understanding and genuine commitment by some of the men and women on YouTube. I hear all these guys talking about what a man is, but they never get it right. But if you go back and listen to what I've said, there's no way that you can refute it. Okay, the last word. All right. A man is consistent. And what I mean by this, a man is consistent in everything that he does. He's consistent in his love. He's consistent in his hard work. He's consistent in being committed to his children and to his, his household. He's consistent in the stand and being the same man that walks out his door every day that he's a man. One of the main problems that we have to deal with, you understand, when it comes to women is that a lot of these guys are not consistent. They are sometime made. They are make 15 days out the month, you understand? The other 15 days, you understand? They're out there, you dig? They're trying to, get at a piece of ass. They're trying to do this and they're doing things. They're making their life complicated. And that's because women, you understand, don't believe in some of these guys because of their actions. You know? They're just reflecting back to these guys, you understand the truth, because this is what the guys have placed in front of them. Their actions. And guys think that they can just bring women superficial things and say, hey, you know, this is how I take care of mines or what have you. And he's doing a half-assed job. And women see this. They peep, understand, what this guy is doing. That's coming, I mean, it's like I told someone yesterday, they asked me, well, what about when a man want to be a player and he don't want to settle down and like uh, trying to settle down and trying to, get along about the real things of life. I told the person, get the hell away from that man. He's not consistent. If I say I'm going to love you and I'm going to keep you, I'm going to maintain you, I'm going to do all the things that a man's supposed to do, I'm going to be consistent. I'm gonna try to be consistent to every atom in my being. I had to learn this. I had to learn it. Again, if I said I was gonna do something, I had to be consistent. If I look down, you understand that my children understand and say, I love you. I'm being consistent. They don't never have to doubt my love. You know, uh, my daughter came to see me uh, uh, last weekend, and like I told her to pick up a couple of heaters for me, you understand, because at times it tends to get kind of cool in the house here. I said, hey, pick up me a couple of heaters, you understand, from down there. Well, she had told me about some heaters. I said, well, hey, look, pick them up. They only cost something like about, I don't know, $35, $40. I told her, I said, I'll have the money down there. I have the money when you come, And like when she came down, she handed me the heater she did, and like I plugged it up, and I said, "Wow, this gives out a good blast." Thank you. Okay, now how much do I owe you? And she said, "Oh, you don't owe me anything." I said, "You sure?" She said, "No." She pumped her heart and said, she said, "We got this." And really, what made me feel good is that something that I had taught her way back. I would always hit my heart and say, "We got this. We got this love." And what it reflected to me, you understand, was my consistency when I was a father raising them. Even though I did so many awkward other things, but I was consistent. My daughter would stay up, you understand, late at night to see me walk through the door and to follow me all over the house. Sometimes I would play games on her. I would know that she's followed me, and like she'd be sitting in the bed, giving me the baby talk and all that right there. And I said, "Hold on, I'll be right back." And I'd jump up, you understand, and run downstairs real quick, and like knowing that she gonna follow me, and I would hide behind the door. And she come down and look all around the house and say, "Dad, where did he disappear to?" And I would spring out and say, "Boo." I was consistent in giving that love back. A man is consistent. When your woman ain't feeling well, when she's going through some of the mood changes that women go through. I ain't just talking about, the period and all that, but, when you're living with someone and they go through all kind of moods. I had to be consistent and confident in her. A man is consistent. The things that I believed in, I was consistent in that. Okay, y'all. Um, Mo, I thank you for coming. I got to get back over there to you, sister. A lot of things in Sam been going on, man. Had a fire in the family and all that right there. I was dealing with that. I know you also had a fire at one time. And people just don't know how serious that is, especially when, you lose everything. And like, my family member lost everything. So like, I've been dealing with that, and like, it took me some time to really get back on YouTube and try to get back into, my swing of things. Okay. But I'm going to be back tomorrow, you understand, finishing, what I started. And I see that, something, it might be a full part thing, it might be a full parts to this because I really want to, understand, articulate what I'm saying. Too serious for what I'm on. Oh, well, about the fire, yes. It's very serious, and like, people just don't realize, what happens, and like this was electrical. I mean, if that's what you're saying, it's electrical. You understand? It started in the attic. You know, had no idea that the house was burning. Yes, yes, I caught him on. Yeah, and like they lost everything. I've been dealing with mood swings, you understand, meltdowns, the whole 9 yards. And like, it's kind of hard to comfort a person when that kind of tragedy happens because it's unexpected. It's something that comes out the clear blue sky. You can't predict when your house is going, get caught on fire. There's no way that you can predict that. But when it happens, understand? At the time that it happens, and man, you know, it's like I told me, I ain't got no house now. And I told them, well, you always got a house here, but that was me saying what I was saying. But like, they've got to bounce back. But when you lose everything, pictures and just all the stuff that you had, your clothes and your furniture, you know, and the fire had enough time, to burn good. Anyway, Mo, I hope you join me, for the third part of this. I will be back tomorrow night. That's my word. And like I will continue what I'm doing. It's like I said, the whole purpose of this, I don't want to get into, what other people, are trying to say and all this right here. It's what I know. What I know as a man. And like, there's no way that I will ever sit back and try to tell a woman, what she is and what she ain't because I'm not a woman, but I am a man. But anyway, Mo, thank you for coming. Sister, it's always good to see you. We always understand, Solid. Don't ever forget that. You dig? And like, I will make a trip around. You dig? When I'm up, early one morning, to come in and you speak. Cause, hey, you've been doing it. You dig? And I like it. Think about it. I'm gonna start doing it. Cause I do bring things to the table. And for you that are up in the clouds, I hope you just put a like there, you dig, and hey, come back tomorrow because there's a part 3 to this. On that note, thank everybody for coming. You know, hey, stay strong. Salute to you. I'm going to end this broadcast. I will be back tomorrow. Salute.